Hello, now we're going to begin on to chapter 24, Latin America. So let's take a look at section 1 first together. We're going to look at some of the forces shaping Latin America, the cultural diversity, and so on. Everybody remembers the European conquest of Latin America back to 1492, and the Spanish mostly colonized Latin America, but there's other European influence as well, as you'll come to see. Also immigrants. Many European immigrants during the 1800s came there, as well as the native Indians that were there, intermarried with the Europeans, as well as blacks from Africa. So there is quite a commingling of cultures and races in Latin America today. As you can see here, some of the Latin American countries have a lot bigger European population, and other countries are much more mixtures, and others have more of the Native Americans. So there is a mixture of the different cultures. The biggest unrest in Latin America is the gulf between the rich and the poor, and many of the countries that are pushing towards communism use that as fodder for rationale behind giving that's the rationale given for going towards a socialist system, is to take from those who have and share with the have-nots. Also, to take in the socialized systems in South America, they take the land and then they distribute it supposedly. Many of the constitutions are based on either ours or the French, and unfortunately many guerrilla type battles have popped up where different political groups that were squashed tried to rise up and challenge those in power. Also, military juntas are very popular in South America. Oftentimes a small group of military leaders or one military leader can seize control of the Latin American countries. So that's another issue facing them. So we already mentioned the rise of socialism. And the United States has, particularly during the Cold War, but even on through today, has made a pointed effort to stop those groups from rising to power or to put sanctions on those who do. And this is done obviously overtly, but also a lot of covert operations to try to, in the past, assassinate. It's against the law now for the CIA to assassinate other political leaders, but in the past, in the 1960s, it was our policy to assassinate by CIA operatives of those who were rising up and bringing socialism. Some of the economic development, unfortunately, many of these countries depend on one or maybe two products. So now that there's more farmland, more commercial farming, and so they diversified more of the products and their crops. So even though they suffered a major economic downturn in the 1980s due to such programs as NAFTA, they now and CAFTA, they now have increased trade. The biggest issue, similar to Africa, is urbanization, and so you have these favelas, these shanty towns, cardboard, corrugated metal shacks, where people are moving into the towns. Religiously, it's dominated by the Roman Catholic Church. That many of the priests there are preaching what's called the liberation theology, the social a theology of social justice, and not based on the Bible.